Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our sections in our book. And now, while you were going through your book, if you found any interesting pictures that you want to use in your collage page, that would be the center of one of your sections. So I look at this. This is something I want to incorporate into a page that I can see. So I'm going this. Above it is a large section, so I'm going to split that section into two pieces. So the front of the book will be glued to the front cover. So this would be one section. This would be where I would place my first picture. I go on to the next section, second picture, make another section, third picture, another section, fourth picture, and one more, a fifth picture. So those would be my 5 sections. I'm going to combine these a little bit. My sections are a little small, so I'm going to pull these in a little bit. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little piece of paper into each section so that I can keep track of them. Okay, so for the first section, I'm going to take something sharp. I have a little punch. You can use your scissors. You can use a pair of needle nose pliers. You could use, an awl. You can use a nail. Just whatever you can use, whatever you have on hand. This doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to take a couple of pages and I'm going to punch a hole through it. Not measuring it out, we're just punching holes. I got my hole there. I'm going to punch another hole. Same place I did my first one. Punch your holes. Alright, so now we're going to combine these pages. So I'm going to cut a couple of strips of fabric. Now you can use, this is actually a piece of an old silk scarf that I've torn into pieces. You can use muslin, you could use lace bits, anything you have on hand will be perfectly fine for this. I just start a little spot on the fabric and then tear it. And that gives you that nice torn edge, and it gives you a lot of texture. So, and you can take muslin and you can tea dye it or coffee dye it, and you could, run some distress ink over it if you want it to be darker. It's really kind of open. So we're going to take this and we're going to push it through that hole. We're going to pull it out the other side. And we're going to tie this section together. Just a plain old knot. And we're going to leave these pieces of fabric just hanging out. And do the same thing. Put it over your hole and push it through. And then we're going to tie it. And we're going to take our next section. We're going to do the same thing, only I'm not going to put the holes in the same place because I kind of want to stagger my holes so that the fabric pieces hanging out the end are kind of staggered and they look kind of neat. It gives it a little bit more texture that way. Shove a hole through. Do not punch your finger. Not responsible for trips to the emergency room. Again, put your fabric through and tie it off. Put your fabric through tie it off. I like to use different fabric for each page so that I get a nice variety of textures and colors. Sometimes I'll use lace bits, sometimes I'll use just, you know, scrap fabrics, that kind of thing. Just whatever I happen to have on hand. Okay, here's this one. Next section. I'm going to put 3 in this one, I think. This one's kind of just a piece of fibers, a bunch of fibers. I could tie together here. It's actually just a bunch of pieces of thread, like that. And this one in there. Try to use some different shades of different browns, different tans, blues, whatever goes with your color scheme of your book. So just keep doing that until you have all of your sections punched and put together.